The top celebrity beverages. For whatever reason, Hollywood decided that basically every celebrity should try and expand on their success and widen their brand by creating or investing in an alcoholic beverage brand. And usually, this formula works pretty well for everyone. But frankly, more often than not, the drinks themselves leave just a little something to be desired. Over the past couple of weeks, I took the liberty of acquiring every vodka, whiskey, and rum attached to some Hollywood star in hopes of narrowing down the best and the worst of these celebrity-endorsed drinks. But please, don't worry. I was sure to pace myself, and trust me when I say that Mr. Luxury always drinks responsibly, as should the lot of you. So, let's start the show with some of the celebrity drinks that probably aren't going to win any awards. Starting this video off is none other than Mr. Worldwide himself, and his particularly grainy bottle of Voli 305 vodka. I remember the first time I had a sip of Pitbull's vodka on a rooftop at 4 a.m. in Miami, and I must admit, it wasn't a great way to end an otherwise fantastic night. When I tried it again, to great chagrin, my first impression was proven accurate. The vodka sorta attacks you and gives you this feeling that it's killing all of the germs in your mouth a couple of times over. If I were on the battlefield at the mercy of a combat medic proceeding to amputate my wounded leg, and was offered a few sips of Voli 305 to numb the pain before the deed is done, I'm not sure which would be harder to stomach, knowing I'd never be able to play football with my son, or the gut-wrenching flavor of a vodka that was likely distilled in bleach. I'm sorry, Armando. I love the music, but not the drink. Another lackluster drink from a lovely actor is that of the born and bred American craft vodka, created by my man Channing Tatum. You get the feeling after trying a bunch of these celebrity drinks that it's all made at the same place and just put into different bottles with different names attached. While born and bred American craft vodka is perhaps a times a day more tasteful than the horrid 305, its only appeal is the nicely shaped bottle it comes in. This particular potato vodka is distilled in Idaho, which, as far as I can tell, pride themselves on their potatoes and their blue American football fields. While I'm sure the potatoes rival those of Ireland, the vodka pales in comparison to the exquisite liquors that come out of the lucky country. Speaking of Ireland, the next item on the list is from my good friend Conor McGregor. In my eyes, Mr. McGregor can do no wrong. As far as I'm concerned, he's the most entertaining athlete to grace the planet since Muhammad Ali. But his proper number 12 Irish whiskey doesn't live up to this notorious reputation he's earned for himself. It's not bad really, but it's not great either. It starts off rather oily, with hints of honey and vanilla, and for a moment it's quite nice. But then once it goes down, it hits you hard. Almost as if the one true king of Dublin was punching you in the face himself. The first swallow of the whiskey is a strong kick of oak and alcohol. The woody taste is simply overpowering, and so is the alcoholic taste that follows. Perhaps I'm just not Irish enough to be able to withstand the sharp punches of the Northern Folks whiskey, or perhaps it's just not that good. Next we have the peculiar case of Danny DeVito's Premium Limoncello. I gotta say, the origin story is rather interesting when you consider that this is what led to the creation of a signature drink. Legend has it that one night, Danny DeVito and George Clooney, an interesting duo to say the least, found themselves rather intoxicated. They partied and apparently discussed new business ventures all night long. The next morning, still under the influence, Mr. DeVito went on the morning talk show The View and proceeded to drunkenly bash the then President George W. Bush. Somewhere in that eventful period, a subpar limoncello was birthed. Maybe it's not as bad as far as limoncello is concerned, but I guess I'm not one for the citrus flavor and the overwhelming taste of sugar. Next, we have the man, myth, and legend, David Beckham, and his Haig Club, single-grain Scotch whiskey. For years, David has exemplified class and swagger in one well-rounded reputation and a perfectly crafted face. No one will ever forget what this man has done for England, or the Calvin Klein ads he's done for the rest of the world. Unfortunately, and hopefully, the world will forget his Haig Club Scotch whiskey. It comes in a cologne bottle, but tastes much worse. I'm sorry, David. I hope we can still be friends after you see this. If most of these are average-tasting drinks, then I guess it's a good time to segue into the better-tasting beverages that I had the pleasure of drinking in my recent study. For whatever reason, the Canadian-born rapper and die-hard Raptor fan, Drake, decided to endorse a southern whiskey brand called Virginia Black American Whiskey. Now, while I'm not sure why Drake, of all people, chose to invest in the seemingly random whiskey company, I will say the drink is downright tasty. And this is coming from someone who's spent decades drinking nothing but the finest of whiskeys. The bottle, on the other hand, is not so appealing. It looks like it belongs on the lower rack of Dillard's cologne shelf, but hey, it surely doesn't take away from the taste of the product. Moving on to the Swaza 901 Tequila by Justin Timberlake. JT is apparently the founder of 901 Tequila, but take that with a grain of salt, and maybe a hint of lime if you know what I'm getting at. The brand is owned by a parent company that's one of the major liquor conglomerates in the world, but sure, I guess we can call Mr. Timberlake the founder of this particular bottle. The 901 in the name is the area code of Memphis, the singer and actor's hometown. All in all, I'd say Swaza 901 is a fantastic option if anyone is in the mood for margaritas. Moving on to Ryan Reynolds, Aviation Gin. Aviation Gin is a rather new brand that has only been around since 2006. The gin is distilled by the highly respected House Spirits Distillery in Portland, Oregon. One day or another, Ryan Reynolds, the face of Deadpool and the star of many other Hollywood blockbusters, picked up a bottle of Aviation Gin and loved it so much, he decided he wanted to be the face of the gin as well. So he bought a big chunk of the company, and since then, he's ran with it. When asked about his role in the company, he had some comedic words in response, saying, "My responsibilities here at the company are vast. I'll spend my days being photographed, intermittently clenching my jaw muscles while pointing at things and nodding." So, Mr. Reynolds assures us that the people left in charge of Aviation Gin actually know what they're doing, and it certainly shows. The gin is incredibly tasty and goes down like milk. Interestingly enough, legendary NFL quarterback Joe Montana has long been a quiet partner for Aviation Gin as well. Next, we have a spirit endorsed by the always handsome George Clooney. Clooney's acting has slowed down in recent years, but thanks to his tequila company, Mr. Danny Ocean was able to earn the number 2 spot of the world's highest paid celebrities of 2018. Last year, George Clooney sold his tequila company that he started with his friends Rondé Gerber and Mike Meldman. The company, called Casamigos, was purchased by British liquor giant Diageo for an astonishing $700 million. Thanks to this monster transaction, Clooney was able to rack in $239 million for himself. This sale grants Clooney with the best annual take-home of any actor in history. Casamigos tequila is quite the delightful drink, if I do say so myself. The brand presents a variety of flavors, including Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. The Añejo is my personal favorite, as it offers creamy chocolate tastes with a hint of smoke at the back end. Of all of the drinks I tasted attached to a Hollywood A-lister, Casamigos was probably my second favorite. And naturally, that brings me to my favorite, and the drink that will hereby be known as the best celebrity spirit on the market. I was shocked to be wooed completely and totally by Mansynth. When I was but a wee little boy, I would often sneak into my grandfather's cupboard to steal his black licorice. It must be for this reason that I'm a sucker for absinthe, as the licorice taste brings back wonderful nostalgia. And believe it or not, Mansynth is no slouch when it comes to the quality bottles of absinthe. The drink takes on the Swiss style of absinthe that leaves a unique, almost green, complex array of flavors. Perhaps I've let the sweet memories of my youth cloud my judgment, but in any case, I have to grant Mansynth with the title of the best celebrity liquor. There are several others that I won't go into much detail on, like Wild Shot Mezcal by Toby Keith, Beach Whiskey by Billy Bush, GTV Vodka by Birdman, Vodka 6100, Robert De Niro, Slovenia Vodka, Bill Murray, FN Vodka, 50 Cent, Crystal Head Vodka, Dan Aykroyd, Ciroc Vodka, Diddy, Blue Chair Bay Rum, Kenny Chesney, AC/DC's Thunderstruck Tequila, The Backstage Southern Whiskey by Darius Rucker, Skinny Girl by Bethany Frankel, Old Camp Peach Pecan Whiskey by Florida Georgia Line, and Conjure Cognac by Ludacris. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. But I figured I wouldn't waste so much of your time, so I tried to highlight a few of the bad ones and a few of the good ones. Well, this has been another installment of Mr. Luxury, here to urge you to always drink responsibly and always floss. As always, I'm Mr. Luxury. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Pip pip, de doodly doo.